Okay, it's been a wild day of roster moves so far, going back to yesterday. So the last 24 hours, Broncos fans, I'm sure you're trying to keep up with every single move made. Welcome in Broncos country to the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. I'm here to be your live updater, or semi-live updater, because at the time of this recording, I can't get to literally every live update. I'm trying my very best. Here's what you need to know. The Broncos have cut 22 players so far. Yesterday, two significant names that you need to know. Audric Estime, gone. Damarri Mathis, gone. And most recently, Courtney Jackson. Big sad tear emoji here on my face because I had him making the roster. We're going to talk about all of that. You should know players are literally getting cut one by one. So we're getting the push noti that Courtney Jackson gets cut. Then we're getting the push noti that Calvin Throckmorton has gotten cut. And it's going like that. It's annoying. It's irritating. That's how it's being done. So bear with me. I'm going to do my very best. And by the way, when new cuts come in, I'll make sure to pin a comment on this video just for you. Let's talk about Courtney Jackson. Just for a moment, I was really sad when I saw this go through. I thought for sure that he was a guaranteed lock to make that sixth spot. Why? Because he can do it also on the special team side of the ball. I had said that if you wanted to develop Marvin Mims into a more of an offensive weapon and kind of alleviate some of the burden of special teams, then you could easily supplant him with Courtney Jackson, at least for a multitude of different packages. It's clear the Broncos didn't see it that way. He was one of the later cuts this morning, but still a cut nonetheless. So I'm going to ask you this question. Do you agree with the cuts so far that you have seen? For the most part, outside of the Courtney Jackson, I absolutely do. I think the Broncos are making the correct decisions. But remember, something that I brought up to you yesterday, the Broncos have kept 86%, a retention rate of 86% from their 2024 roster. So we didn't really expect a ton of new names. Did we? At least I didn't. Either way, let me know in the comment section down below. Let's get into some of the cuts that we should know about. These are not all of the cuts. So if I see someone in the comment section goes, you forgot this person. No, they're literally coming in as we are filming this. So I apologize for that. Xavier Truss, Clay Webb, Andrew Farmer, Garrett Nelson, Michael Dumfour, who is one of the other ones. Here's some more notable names that you need to know. Josh Pickett, Joaquin Davis, someone that a lot of other Broncos media members have talked highly about. He was one of the first cuts. Jerwan Newton, Kyrese Rowan, Marquise Cox. Sam Franklin Jr. was a cut this morning, someone that I did not think was either going to make the roster as well. Here are the bigger names, the big ones, right? Audric Estime, Blake Watson, Damarri Mathis. I don't know how Micah Abraham sneaked in there. He's not a big name. But Dellarin Turner-Yell also got cut this morning as well. I do want to hyper-focus on two names on that list because that's the title of this video. Audric Estime and Damarri Mathis. Why are these two the most significant names? Well, a lot of people, myself included, believe that there were opportunities for these guys to make the roster. But with their performance, not only going back to last year, but preseason at this point, left a lot to be desired in between. So where was Moose right? A little Colin Cowherd action for you today. Where Moose was right. I've been saying for weeks that both Audric Estime and Damarri Mathis were not going to make the 53-man roster. Their play just wasn't good enough. Damarri Mathis actually played bad, and Audric Estime just didn't play well enough. We're going to break down exactly my thoughts about them stylistically as players, but first, a word from our sponsor. Broncos country, who better to tell you about a personal grooming company like Harry's, better than the hairiest man that you know, Moose. And I tell you, I use Harry's every single day. So this is not a product that I just willy-nilly endorse. I actually use this razor and their kit every single day. And I have to tell you, I love the way the blade feels against my skin. And my 5 o'clock shadow is like your 7 a.m. shadow. So let me tell you about what Harry's has going on right now. For a limited time, our listeners can get a Harry's trial set for only $8 plus a free gift at harrys.com/chat. Does your old razor get too dull way too fast? Does it irritate your neck? And do they cost way too much? How about $20 for a 4-pack of refills? That's a total scam. That's where Harry's comes in. They don't just make razors. They've got a full line of grooming essentials from shave gel to deodorant to body wash, all thoughtfully made and priced to stock up. All of Harry's blades and grooming products can be delivered right to your door. Set your preferred schedule and never run out of blades again. And as I said, for a limited time, our listeners can get a Harry's trial set for only $8 plus a free gift at harrys.com/chat. Just head over to harrys.com/chat to receive our exclusive discount. And after you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them the Broncos Breakdown sent you. I'll have all of that in the comments and description for you of today's video. And thank you to our friends at Harry's. Who better to listen to about some awesome shaving equipment better than the hairiest guy you know? All right, so a little live update here before we get back into Audric Estime and Damarri Mathis. Jaleel McLaughlin has made the team, according to the tweet that I just saw get pushed out. So there's your first little live update from today's episode. Now let's talk about Audric Estime for a second, because he's a player that we have talked non-stop about the last few weeks. Why? Because the running back battle between RB3 and RB4 has been significant since the beginning of preseason. I had said, if Audric Estime is falling down on this depth chart to where he's now the rotational 5 or 6th running back, he's not going to make the team. Lo and behold, he gets pushed all the way to the very back, had a couple of decent runs and a couple of decent performances in the preseason, but nothing that would garner him getting an RB3 or an RB4 spot. In fact, he was passed up by the likes of Tyler Bidet and Jaleel McLaughlin. Blake Watson could have taken or leaving at that point. I know there's a lot of fans that loved Blake Watson. Unfortunately, I think the Broncos went with the very, very best for it, or fortunately, I should say. So Audric Estime, to me, was a player that quite literally just didn't play well enough. It's not that he played poorly during the preseason. He just didn't do anything spectacular. You saw the blazing speed from R.J. Harvey. You saw the progression in the game of Tyler Bidet. Hell, you even saw the dynamic versatility of Blake Watson. So when Audric Estime's time to shine came on the field and he was just giving you mediocre performances, the writing was on the wall, in my opinion. So, and I say I take no pleasure in saying that. He's a great kid. I loved him at Notre Dame. That's my school. Unfortunately, I'm a Broncos guy. I want the 4 best that fit the Broncos, and Audric Estime was not one of them. How about Damarri Mathis? Let's talk about him for a second. This is a little bit different of a song that I'm going to sing here. Damarri Mathis just did not play well. It wasn't even that other players played better than him. He just didn't play good at all. One specific play that I want to highlight for you, and I went back and I said this to you in a couple of videos ago. He bit hard on a play-action fake against the Arizona Cardinals where a tight end beat him over the top. A tight end. He's a corner. He's supposed to be 10 times faster than a tight end. But if you're getting beat on what you believe is a run, and then you get faked out and then smashed over the top on a tight end into the end zone, it's just not a good look. And I said also that the Broncos cornerback room, which is now a no-fly zone 2.0, is way too talented to keep as many as 6 or 7 corners. In fact, my official prediction was that they were going to keep 5. Surtain, Moss, Barron, Abrams-Drain, and Jaquan McMillan. Those are going to be your 5 that roll out on the Broncos 53, at least according to Moose. So when I look back at Damarri Mathis and I say, not only were you not playing well, but you don't even level up to the talent that these guys have, and you didn't have a good preseason from a camp perspective, that also was a very easy cut for the Denver Broncos. And of course, this is going to be one of the hardest teams to make. Look at how much talent there is, especially on the defensive side of the football, where myself included, are praising, lauding the Broncos for being the number one defense, at least on paper, in the NFL. So it's even harder if you play on the defensive side of the ball like Damarri Mathis did. As more cuts come in, I do want to let you know that we'll cover the likes of guys like Audric Estime. We'll cover the likes of guys like Damarri Mathis, and of course, my hero, Mr. Courtney Jackson, who didn't end up making this team. But outside of that, make sure you keep those notifications turned on, my friends, because at some point, we're going to give you a video of the full 53-man roster projection. Not projection, full 53-man roster as a whole. That's what it's going to happen. So make sure that you have those noties turned on. Make sure that you tune into every last bit of videos that we pump out for you, because once we get them out to you, the 2025 season is officially here. Make sure you subscribe, Broncos Country. Like the video if you haven't already. And as always, mile high salute to you. Be cool.